Shut up and sit down.
Hello, my friend. You are listening to the Dance Studio Scaled podcast, the #1 place for innovative marketing, retention strategies, and business growth ideas made just for dance studio owners. Now, this isn't your average business podcast. We're here to shake things up, simplify the hustle, and focus on real, actionable insights. I'm your host, Jen Dalton, and after 30 years of running studios, coaching owners, and scaling businesses, I know one thing's for sure. There's no one size fits all in this industry. You've got the passion and I've got the tools to help you take it to the next level. So hit that subscribe button, grab a coffee, and let's scale your studio together. Welcome back to this week's episode of the Dance Studio Scaled podcast, fam. We are so lucky to have with us today some guests on our show, and I would now like to introduce you to the fabulous Zoe and Kristy, who are both founders and creators of a wonderful new drama program called Act It Out. Thank you so much, ladies, for giving me your time today.
Thank you, Jen.
Oh, look, it's always a great reason to wash our hair, I think, is when we get on camera. And look, I know it's being on stage and on camera for you two is not new. Where for me, I still struggle on the daily to make sure, I'm turning up and looking the goods. But you two certainly have. So thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you. Thank you, Jen.
So can we start by just, if each of you could give us a little bit of a background about where you started and sort of your experiences over the years that have actually brought you to where you both are today now. So we'll go first. Who wants to go first?
Oh, I'll go first. Yeah.
Go, so.
Well, there's builders next door. I hope you can't hear that.
I can't. Of course.
So my very first role in community theatre was as a SEAL. And that moment on stage when I made an audience laugh because of my it was like, I can affect an audience. This is amazing. That feels so good. And then I was upgraded to the SEAL trainer, which felt even better. Then I went through dance studios. I did all types of dance. I went to Newtown Performing Arts High School. I did 2-unit drama, 2-unit dance at Newtown. I did numerous kind of contracts after that, and then I was signed to Sony Music as a pop star for a moment, the band Cherry. And then I worked in musical theatre for years, and I then decided that I wanted to focus more on straight acting. So my husband and I started an independent theatre company, Workhorse Theatre Company, and we put on 7 productions. We had babies during that time. And now I work mostly as I do commercials as an actor, some guest spots on television, and mostly a voiceover artist. And that leads me to where I am today.
That is just so exciting. Anyone listening to that be like, wow, my story is boring. Love that. Thank you for sharing.
So great.
Yeah.
Journey.
Kristy.
Well, if we're going that far back, my very first acting role was in preschool, and it was the end of year Christmas concert. And I got cast as Miss Polly, who had a dolly that was very, very sick. And I remember performing that with so much commitment. I was Miss Polly, and similar type of thing. It always starts with validation, right? At that age, like you finish, it's like, oh my gosh, you were amazing. And I'm like, am I good at this? And then I also remember being quite cranky that when they did the nativity scene, I was only allowed to play one of the 3 wise men, and I really wanted to play Mary, but I'd already played Miss Polly. So I wasn't allowed to have 2 leads in the play. But that was at the age of 4. And I remember turning to my parents at that age and saying, this is what I want to do. And it took a few years. And then, obviously hands up for every school activity that had drama involved and whatnot. But for me, it was always just straight acting. I did 1 year of dance as a child, and it was not my thing. But I was always looking for acting, and finding acting classes was really difficult, specifically when you're growing up in the suburbs, that don't have that much performing arts to offer. But by the time I was about 10 or 11, my mum did find some classes for me that I kind of went in and out of. And then by the time I was 14, I landed in a really well-known performing arts school in Sydney. It was called Keen Kids. So we also went to Keen Kids. A lot of child actors of the 90s kind of started out there. And they kind of, I'd started doing classes and they called me up one day and they said, because they were an agency as well. So they had an agency attached to the school and they said, there's an audition we'd love for you to go on. And if you get the job, we'll become your agents and we'll represent you. And that was when I was 14 and it was for a TV show on the ABC called Police Rescue. And I ended up booking that job. So my very first acting job was with Gary Sweet and all of those old guys, Steve Bastoni. And I was 60 foot in the air on scaffolding that was collapsing. So it was like, and of course, full commitment, because that's all I knew what to do back in that time. All my acting was just commit. And then from there, I actually auditioned for a 6-week role on Home and Away, and that 6-week role turned into 4.5 years, basically. So that took me from the age of 16 through to 20. When I finished Home and Away, I stuck around in Australia and I worked on just a lot of TV shows basically as guesties, and I did a couple of other full-time jobs for the next 7 or 8 years, culminating in a role on Star Wars, which funnily enough, the role that I played was the same kind of role that Rose Byrne and Keira Knightley had played. So it was the handmaiden role for Natalie Portman, except in my version of the film, I got cut. So my career didn't take off quite the same way, but it did drive me to end up going to the States. So I ended up going to America and I ended up studying a lot in America. But by that stage, I was in my 30s and I ended up becoming a single parent. So I came back with my son and thought to myself, how do I maintain some type of, connection to the industry while I'm raising my son by myself? And I decided to open a drama school because I just had memories of how important that was to me at that age. So for the last 8 years, I've been teaching kids from 6 to 18 drama. And this year I started teaching diploma students as well. So I'm kind of teaching right across the whole age bracket. And then I met Zoe and she changed my life.
Oh, fun. Yeah, when I met Zoe, she changed my life too.
You guys, I'm just gonna.
That's again, so I love that. And I think I can relate with the whole passion thing, like commitment. You just
Yeah.
like, if you're doing it, you may as well do it properly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
I've learned subtleties since then.
yeah,
Before, and it was like,
your son probably keeps you humble anyway.
yeah, he does.
Kids
Definitely.
have a way of doing
Oh,
that.
12-year-old boy. Yeah, for sure.
Perfect.
I'm real cringe at the moment. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. All right. So then the spark for Act It Out, this program that you have written together, where did that come from?
I had this idea. It was probably 12 years ago, and it was during my time in musical theatre, and when that transition to straight theatre and why we built Workhorse Theatre Company was because I just felt like there was such a missing link in the education of performing arts students, and watching musical theatre on stage and knowing that what makes theatre is the good is when you connect, and that connection that you have with a cast on stage and with a story. But if it's not believable, then there's no connection. And that's the difference between good theatre and great theatre. And I was like, how can I make, or what idea could I come up with that makes drama accessible to all kids? And not just trying to find a great drama studio like Kristy's studio, which we're lucky to have in our area, but there are hardly any, like there's not many around. So it was back then that I thought of it. And then it was 4 years ago that I actually met Kristy through a Facebook group of singer, actor, dancer mothers. And we realized that a bunch of us were in the Sutherland Shire, and so we just started hanging out, and we were like, oh, it's so nice to talk to creative people. And then I was like, I had this idea. Do you want to roll with it with me? I've been looking for the right person to do it with me. And
initially it was just a preschool program that Zoe approached me about, and I hadn't been teaching that age group before. So I was like, that's actually quite interesting, a great idea to start those skills. How would you do that? Like, how do you teach 3 to 5-year-olds drama? All right, let's sit down and kind of knuckle this out. And then through the years, as we began to develop that, the whole business just grew with all of our ideas and,
Mm.
juices flowing. We are what we are now today.
I love it. It's so wholesome, I think. And, I would love for you to go into a little bit more detail. So I believe there's two programs available. Is that correct? Like a preschool curriculum and then a junior curriculum. Could you talk us through what the difference is, how it looks for someone who is delivering this?
So, that's so polite.
Yeah. Up to you.
So the preschool program is really unique and it's very different from the junior program. We actually went into preschools and spent a year and a half understanding what the kids needed, how much focus and attention span they had, what lost their focus and attention. We brought props in because they're very tactile, it's very play based. But it really does teach them those skills to just put their hand up and say, I'm hungry, or I'm sad, or I'm happy, and exploring emotions. And at the heart of the program, sorry, just to digress a bit, you're talking about wholesome, but at the heart of the program, we talk about our 5 C's, which is confidence, creativity, connection, communication, and consent. And consent was a big part for the preschool age and then moving into the junior, because we thought it was a fantastic platform to be able to start that conversation, having young kids be able to say, no, I don't feel comfortable about holding your hand. Or in this one, we all, you have to sort of stand next to each other or put your elbow to your elbow. Does everybody feel comfortable touching elbows? I don't feel comfortable. And, praising that kid for actually being brave enough to say, I'm not comfortable, and starting that choice in body autonomy. Then to go back to the junior program, so the junior program is, and the preschool program is progressive in terms of confidence. So it builds on that confidence. And so towards the end of the year, they're starting to do things by themselves. And so it can go into both preschools, early learning centres, and dance studios. The junior program is just for dance studios, and we've got the 3 levels. We've got 6 to 8 years, 9 to 12, and then 13 plus. And it is curriculum based. It is a full curriculum. So there is a myth that, drama is all about games, and we are certainly not that. Drama, there are games, icebreaker exercises, but we move into deep skill based exercises, and right through the year, progressive each term, moves into storytelling, characters, improvisation, script analysis. You could all of that sort of stuff. Yeah. So it's really, and talking about that performance-based skills, and how to translate for someone who hasn't taught drama before, how to give them all of that comprehensive information within an app to be able to teach it. So we've thought of all the things and we've put it all in there. So it's really, really easy to teach.
Love that. Now, you touched on the 5 C's. Can we talk more about that? Because like as a consumer, as a mother, when I'm looking for things for my children, there are certain elements that are so important that must be hit. And those 5 C's pretty much cover it all, particularly the last one, consent. I think particularly now, and especially for us in dance studios, like this world, it's become so important to focus in on. And I love that you highlight that. Now, is there certain things that you do, certain things that you are teaching to help along the way with the consent piece?
You want to go with that?
The main thing that we've discovered, especially with the 3 to 5 year olds, is that they shouldn't be obvious lessons about consent. It's more about it just becoming part of the everyday conversation. So we have notes through all of the lesson plans where if there's ever an instruction that says, for example, there's an exercise called Toy Boat, where it's a trust exercise where the kids close their eyes and the teacher's going to guide them gently across the circle. And then they're part, their friends catch them and they take turns. And as they grow with confidence, they might be the one that guides the child across. And so in that lesson plan, there'll be a note there that says, don't forget to ask, is it okay if I touch you by the shoulders? And if that child says, no, I'm not comfortable, there's other ways to guide. So, okay, so follow my voice instead. I'm going to just gently be speaking beside you, and I want you to just follow my voice. And you can feel my presence beside you, but I'll make sure that I'm not touching your shoulders if that makes you uncomfortable. So it's obviously needs to be age appropriate and unthreatening. We don't want children to feel the fear of having their bodies touched, especially if they're okay with that, like to make them think, oh, should I not be allowing somebody to touch my shoulders? So it's just trying to manage that conversation in a really naturalistic way with that age group. And also, as Zoe said, applauding the ones that have the courage to stand up and say no. Not to get too kind of deep, but recently there's been some situations that have taken place in some daycare centres that we've all heard about throughout the news. And this is a great program that will start to teach children to be able to use those voices. So, not even in ways of recognizing consent or discomfort, but just in ways that allows them to confidently speak up. So, when we were going into preschools, we would see all the time tiny little 3, 4-year-old children that at the very beginning, early stages would be.
Yeah.
And it would really only take a few weeks to a month for them to be putting their hand up or offering their ideas and choices without any type of encouragement. And we think that in itself is the beginning steps of children being able to speak up for their own body autonomy. And safety, basically, to just build that confidence and build those communication skills from the ground up. And then, of course, moving into the dance school, it's a little bit different because dancers are expected to be physical. They're touching each other all the time through dances, but they should still have that choice. There should be that body autonomy even for them. If they're not comfortable, then a choreographer should be able to change and modify the steps that they've taken and allow that dancer to feel comfortable in that moment, especially for young girls who might be developing and go through those, those phases of, I know when I was like big, heavy t-shirts and I didn't want anyone to touch or look at me. So they should still have that choice to be able to say no. And also Act It Out is a program that will bring in people that aren't just dancers. So it's about allowing the kids to confidently speak up about what makes them feel comfortable and what doesn't. And the way we do that is just highlighting every one of those moments throughout all of our exercises where a teacher can recognize that this is a moment to ask that question and to modify if necessary, to show that your answer is being listened to and I'm not going to force you to do it. Okay, let's workshop this together and find something that makes you feel comfortable then. That goes for beyond just body autonomy. That goes for emotions and everything. Some children aren't comfortable expressing anger. Some children aren't comfortable being vulnerable. So we need to make sure that we're approaching these exercises in a way that recognizes their individuality and comfort holistically, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, basically.
Yeah. Oh, it's so comprehensive, isn't it? And the thought that you guys have put in it's what really makes you stand out. It is the difference between just getting up and teaching drama and actually like building actors and humans, right? And they're taking this into their workplace. This is
Sorry, Jen, keep going.
No, this is the confidence. And it may even be that there's, in an office situation as an adult, but they have these memories and because it's being given to them and taught in their foundational years.
They're like sponges at this age. They're so young and they soak it all in. And it's whether or not they know they're soaking it in, it's subconscious. And if they know that they can be forthright in saying, I'm not comfortable, it's game changer. It's everything for that child.
Yeah. And even for a dance studio owner to have the ability to teach this type of curriculum, I mean, it's going to only enhance their ability on a stage, backstage, helping other kids. It's just bringing awareness as a whole, which for the majority of studio owners, I know that is what their goal is. They are really focused on that. On top of the teaching of the dance and the technique and the performing and the comps, it really does come down to those foundational pieces of training, which you appear to have covered in all of the curriculum that you've built, which is fabulous. And for a studio owner, it gives them a point of difference. It gives them something else to sell in a very competitive world. We're all marketing and trying really hard, but if they have this as an option, as another marketing tool, like as a parent, I'd be choosing a studio that that offers this, because it's just enhancing my child even more in a really positive way for them into the future. So, so thanks, guys.
You.
Good job.
Thanks.
All right, so tell me what it looks like for, so I'll speak for a studio owner because that's generally who's listening here. What does it look like if they decide to sign on with you? How does it, what do they get? How do they deliver? How do they fit it into their timetable? Could you give me a bit of a rundown?
So the preschool program runs for 30 minutes and the junior program runs for 45 minutes. They get, so generally that's a good kind of time frame we've found for both the preschool component and the junior component to add to their timetables. We give you the full marketing package. So you've got all of your Canva tiles or Google Drive folders that all of the marketing is in. So you don't have to worry about your free classes, your enroll now, any of those things that are advertising to bring the classes in. We also have our Kajabi community because the app's run by Kajabi. So the community is our platform, closed platform that we all can communicate and talk to each other and ask questions and, discuss things together. The props box comes within the package too. That's for the preschool program. And there's beautiful little props in there. We've got like the memory boards that we use, which they have all the different icons, and each week is themed for the preschool program as well. So it just keeps that, interest for the kids. What else have we got? So within the program, the comprehensive aspect of it and finding that really kind of detailed way to give someone who's never taught acting the skills to be able to teach that is we start with our objectives of the exercise. So each exercise comes with the objectives, the setup, how to run the exercise, and then your tips for success and your learning benefits. And then we've also got a video guide of how to teach the exercise. So there's no way nobody can say it's like they don't know how to teach the exercise because it is so detailed and comprehensive. And so each exercise has all of that information. And so then within those exercises, one of the things Kristy's found really challenging with her drama studio is finding what you might call prompts. And prompts are like within an exercise that you have to think of things to give the kids. So there's an exercise called 10 second object. And they've got 10 seconds to create the harbour bridge. You might call out the harbour bridge, or you might call out a coat hanger, or you might call out
sunglasses, any type of object.
Can be any object. And so all of those prompts, we've listed thousands of prompts. So you've got, I don't know how, like thousands of exercises.
Thousands of exercises and thousands of prompts when all is said and done.
Yeah, within the junior course, there is really not that much repetition within the course. So each exercise is unique and progressive throughout the year. It's not like we repeat the same exercises. We start with the icebreakers, we move into
ups and things, but
character and storytelling, and then we go into physicality, movement, voice. We move into improvisation, and then the last term is generally script analysis and good
audition
scripts
technique,
too, and audition technique and performance technique and scripts that come from actors too, which is very important because we don't want to be working with bad scripts.
I'll take your word for it. Okay, that's fantastic. Is it set out in lesson plan format? So if a studio owner was picking it up and was wanting to teach it, is it broken down into weeks, terms?
Both.
The term and then the weeks and then the exercises. So boom, boom, boom. And just to kind of go back a bit, if you could extend the class. So it's 45 minutes is what we think is the average for most dance schools. But if you've got a 60-minute slot that you want to fill, that lesson can easily be extended out to 60 minutes. You just take a little bit more time in the activities, which isn't a bad thing anyway. Same with
there's sort of extra challenges and extension challenges in most of them anyway. So you can expand on the exercises.
So it's essentially just ready to go.
Yeah, 100% ready to go.
Which is a
gift to you.
Well, see how grateful we'd be because we've got so much happening, and always the intention between nearly every single studio owner that I ever work with or have conversations with is to continually give the best opportunities to their students. But they're just as time poor as everybody else. But this is the opportunity that is already done for them. It's all set out so they can give that opportunity with little impact to themselves and their time. I love that. I love that.
Group teacher is away, it means that anyone else can pick it up and just step in and keep taking from the week that you're at, basically.
Yeah, that's one of the things that a lot of dance studio owners do say is that they can't find drama teachers, like for a start. And if they do have a great drama teacher that's running a great program for them and they've got their own exercises that they use, that if they go away, they've got no one else to jump in. So this is solving that problem. It's anyone can jump in and it's all there, all ready to go.
And another, conversation that I have regularly with studio owners is the preschool numbers at the moment are harder to get. And and I'm always sort of suggesting how can you be different to every other studio who's offering a preschool dance program? This could be the answer.
There's
Totally.
nothing like it out there. There's so many movement activities, music activities, sound, gymnastics, acro, but nobody has done preschool drama. And we know why now because
Yeah.
there's a lot
Really
that
hard.
goes into it. It's taken us years to build to make sure that it will work for that age group. So there really is nothing like it. And you would be, if your studio were to bring on not yours, Jen, but whoever's listening, were to bring on the preschool program, you'd be one of the first in Australia to be able to begin offering that. So it would definitely bring in new enrollments for you.
I think there is unfortunately, which I don't understand because I grew up dancing and I love dancing and I admire dancers so much and it was my first love and dancers have such incredible discipline, but there is a stigma for parents to send their kids, especially boys, to a dance studio. So to be able to offer drama in that dance studio, it's not only bringing in students who the parents go, oh, well, I don't want to send them to a dance class, but I'll send them to a drama class.
Yeah.
And those boys that will be like, oh, well, I can't send my son to a dance class. Well, yes, you can send your son to a dance class, but you can also send your son to a drama class. And he can maybe see the dance classes and do the dance classes too.
Well, you might find people like me who have no rhythm and cannot hold a note. Not a triple threat in this world, but looking for some type of creative outlet that is just waiting for something like this to open in their area so that they can finally pursue their dreams of becoming an actor. Or
Yeah.
just become better at public speaking at school. Those kids that need that confidence, that aren't performers even, but want to get those communication skills, those confidence skills. There are kids out there looking for this type of product, this type of class, and they just don't exist really.
And I should say too, so my husband is on the faculty of Actors Centre Australia. And sorry, Jen, we could talk for hours about this.
Keep going, please.
He built or co-built the Bachelor of Performing Arts Stage and Screen for Actors Centre Australia, which is a 3-year bachelor degree.
It's 3D as well.
It's also
Is that good?
And we've made sure that he's just overlooked the programs to make sure that our levels are in line, with what he's teaching to at a university. So then students who do decide to go into a diploma of performing arts or a diploma of acting, and then they are like, I really want to pursue a career in acting and they want to do a 3-year degree in acting. They have all of these foundational skills and they're not going in cold. They're not, it's opening up all of that possibility for them.
Yeah, you're training them if they want to become professional actors.
Yeah, and just better people. Like I'm so grateful for the people that I know in this industry because I don't know any bad ones really. I mean, everyone's generally great, and it produces good people because we're learning how to listen. That's like one of the simple elements of being an actor is listening, and then also communicating. And that communication is how you say something to somebody and how it affects them. And actually stepping into somebody's shoes and that empathy aspect and understanding how that person thinks and that person feels, which is just human skill, and understanding not just why they're saying something, but how and what and
how they're saying it affects someone else as well, taking
That's it.
responsibility for your
Yeah.
own choices and your own actions.
Not just, what they're saying,
Yeah.
sorry, but why they're saying
Um,
it.
yeah.
And reading body cues. Like I love that side of communication that doesn't get spoken about and is so important. Like reading body
Well,
signs.
we literally have like silent monologues that we do in term 2. I think I've got them in term 2 or term 3. I'll just go back and have a look. But that's what it's about, learning how to communicate without the words and telling the story just through our body language and our expression. Because what do we say? It's 90% of all communication is body language. That's what I'm always teaching my students, that performance isn't just about what your voice sounds like, the words that you're saying. It's the subtext that goes into it. It's what we're really saying, even though we're saying this. It's what our faces are doing. It's what our bodies are doing. So it's a full body performance that you are learning. So for performers, that's obviously an incredible skill to have, but then also for just kids and humans to learn as well, it's an incredible life skill. Yeah.
I love that so much. How can studio owners get in contact with you?
www.actedout.com.au.
Beautiful.
Well, we just out through our website, there's a button that you can inquire now, or info@actedout.com.au. It's just info, our email, info@actedout.com.au.
Fabulous. Well, I know if anyone has any questions or would like me to reach out for them, they can do that. I absolutely support what you're doing. I love it. I think it's so needed and will be so helpful for dance studio owners, because we really are about developing those kids in the best way we can. And this program gives them that 100%. So on behalf of all dance studio owners and parents, thank you so much. So grateful for you.
Thank you so much.
And we'll have to have a follow-up interview just to see how everything's going. I'd say about 6 months, 12 months time. What do you think?
We love that.
For sure.
Yes, thank us in.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time today, ladies.
Thank you, Jen.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Dance Studio Scaled podcast. Now, if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to hit subscribe, leave a review, and share it with other studio owners who would love it too. And let's keep the conversation going. Follow me on Instagram at Jen Dalton for more tips, insights, and behind-the-scenes moments to help you simplify and scale your studio. Until next time, keep dreaming big and taking action. I'll see you back here soon.